I first heard this word quite a few years ago, and when I first heard it, I was sitting overlooking a shopping center. It was almost like a B&Q's slash IKEA kind of place. I'm not quite sure what the name of it was, but we were sitting in like a diner thing overlooking the main floor. And I was sitting with my uncle and I was saying to him, isn't it a bit odd that every single one of those people have lives that are just as complicated and confusing as ours? And he looked at me and said, the word you're looking for is sonder. And I thought to myself, so that word's been stuck with me for quite a few years. So the meaning of the word sonder itself is actually rather interesting, and it's something we all experience at certain stages of our lives. Sonder, noun. The realization that each random passerby is living a life as vivid and as complex as your own, populated with their own ambitions, friends, routines, worries, and inherited craziness. An epic story that continues invisibly around you like an anthill sprawling deep underground, with elaborate passageways to thousands to other lives that you never knew existed, in which you might appear only once, as an extra sipping coffee in the background, as a blur of traffic passing on the highway, as a lighted window at dusk. This is something that I think about daily. Literally, every single day, this is something I think about, especially whenever I was in the city for a time. The realization that you have that every single person that you meet is the main character in their story. They're not just background characters for yours. Everyone is their own main character. That is an insane thing to think of, because we're always so wrapped up in thinking about our own self-interest, our own story. We forget that everyone around us has their own main story, that they are the main character of their story, that their lives are just as complicated and as confusing, with the same amount of emotions and feeling and confusion that we all have. But it's a bit more than that. Whenever you sit down and really think about it, you tend to think of people as if you're looking through a bit of a Hollywood lens. When you sonder about people, you tend to look at them and see the choices that they've made. You tend to realize the little everyday things that they do. Maybe they leave their keys on their nightstand. Maybe they think about sending that text to a loved one but decide against it because, oh, I don't know, maybe you said the wrong thing and you're still waiting for it to die down, or maybe they're waiting to put their kids to bed so that they can snuggle up to their loved one. Whatever the case is, we sonder about different people every single day, and we realize that every single person is a human. We don't fully grasp the entirety of the concept until much later, until we really think about it. And when you get into such an extensive use of sondering, you start to you start to become empathetic. Empathus? Words. They fail me. But it also allows you to realize something extraordinary and horrifying at the same time. You see, when we sonder, we're humanizing others. Which is a good thing, don't get me wrong. We should never try to dehumanize other people. But when you are humanizing people, you still have to recognize a little certain something. When you're humanizing good people, you start to see the good qualities and the aspects that they do, the everyday simple things that they might do, and you think, oh, I do that too. And then you start to empathize with bad people, with cruel and horrible people, with evil people, and you realize they were human as well. Some of the most horrendous and evil people throughout history were human, and it's very easy to sonder about them, to look at their everyday lives, the little human things that they did, and realize, ooh, we all do them too. I mean, the everyday things. We sit down, we have a meal, we laugh, we have friendships. Just some people murder thousands of people as well. So it's, you do have to be very, very, aware of these, and it allows you to become aware of these things. It allows you to become more open-minded to the concept of things. Not to become an evil bastard, but just to be aware that it can happen. When you sonder about other people, you become hyper-aware of your own actions. You start to become more aware of your actions, whether you realize it or not, which is a good thing. Everyone should be very hyper-aware of what they do and say on a daily basis, whether it's in public or not, or online or not. But if it's online, you definitely kind of need to be aware. But sondering allows you to be hyper-aware of your actions and how they affect others as well. It also allows you a little bit of inspiration and motivation at the same time, because some of our heroes and our icons and the people, our idols that we look up to, they're human as well. They have everyday traits and things that we can follow and do and basically copy at the same time and realize and have very similar experiences. It reminds us that these great people, these amazing and talented people, are just people. Same as the great and the small, the good and the bad, and the ugly. Yeah, the good, the bad, and the ugly. I should probably cut that out. But I think as well, it allows you to have this this understanding that if you have the right circumstances and you have the right work ethic and patience, you can do what you want. You can achieve what you want. You can do incredible things. Every single creation and amazing achievement any human being has achieved, they were a human being. And as said in previous videos, we're in the most advanced stage of human history. If anything can be achieved right now, we can do it right now. And this isn't meant to be some kind of, inspirational, go achieve your dreams. Within reason. If you have the capabilities to go out and create something, create it. Learn from your idols, learn from the people that you look up to, study them, sonder them like crazy, realize and value the things that they've taught and spoken about. Learn as much as you can from them, and you can achieve just as much as them. The other thing that amazes me about all of this is that sonder was a word coined in 2012 by a man named John Koenig. I think I've said that right. John Koenig? Koenig? Technically speaking, for a time, sonder wasn't a real word. In the sense of a real word could be as real as it could be. I know that sentence probably confused a lot of folk, and it confused me too when I first said it. But just bear in mind that it was a word coined in 2012. That's not that long ago. And it is a feeling everyone feels at some point in their life, hopefully. If you haven't realized that yet, mind blown. It is by far my favorite word. I love this word. But what's amazing about this word is the simplicity of it. And the feeling behind it. Being able to describe something that everyone feels but never had the linguistic ability to describe it in the first place. That's an incredible thing. That's how we experience life. To be able to explain things to each other. To use language to explain it. So it just makes me think, what other feelings do humans have that we aren't able to explain because there isn't a word created to explain it yet? That's an insane thing to think of. But this word, sonder, it has allowed me to do my best to stay as grounded, as empathetic, and as self-aware as I've ever been able to try to be. And that these days is very, very, very hard. With everyone so wrapped up in their own devices, we barely ever try to think of others. And I know, that's very stereotypical, like, we don't think about anyone but ourselves, but in reality it is the case. And it is very easy to see that. And not many people are self-aware. And being self-aware is very difficult to do and very hurtful to do to yourself when you first do it. And it's not fun. It's not fun, but you kind of have to be that way. To have that curiosity and that realization about others, to be able to describe it, it helps you realize things about yourself. And the last thing about this word, and I will close it after this, the last thing about this word is it gives you the ability to realize that everyone else is human. That everyone makes simple, everyday choices that are very similar to yours. And all it takes is a few mistakes to lead you onto a path to either become the greatest human being you can possibly be, or the worst. It doesn't take that many steps for a human being to become a monster. And when you sonder, you can see that about good and bad people. You can see the good and the bad decisions they've made. You can start to understand them and learn them, and find out how that can affect you, how you can change as a human being. And I think that's important. It's one of the reasons I love this word. It helps you to understand yourself in a way, to help keep you grounded, and to help you become self-aware. And you do need to be self-aware if you want to achieve great things or have a good life, I suppose. I've been liking these videos. I've been wanting to make a video on this for years. It's pretty fun. I like this. It feels nice to have finally spoken about this. But I'm going to leave it here. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoy the new word if you haven't learnt of this word before. But as for now, thanks for watching, and yeah, bye.